today we are going to talk about Egyptian walking onion. Sorry about my hand, I was picking blackberries this morning, but I just wanted to do a video on Egyptian walking onions and my experience with it. Now, these would grow and produce bulbs, as you can see. I harvest them and use as the bulbs that I would replant for the next season. But if you look here at the base, this is very woody, as you can see, but I'll show you. I can pull this up, that's fine. It will bulb, not as big as a regular onion, like a Vidalia onion and so, but this just popped right off. So what happened right here, as you can see, just as this popped off, it's gonna stay right there over winter and do exactly what this has done. As you can see, all the bulbs are here. So I'm gonna pull these. But what I really wanted to show you, and these I'm gonna use in my cooking, but we're gonna take a walk over here. Let's keep this together so I don't lose track of it. And if you notice, there's no more, just the roots down there, there's no more bulbs. I pulled all the bulbs out because it was just a cluster of bulbs from last year that I dropped in here. So that's what I'm gonna do this year again, and we're gonna be harvesting that next year. Now let's take a walk over here. Now over here I also have some more Egyptian walking onions growing, and this is my herb bed. I have all sorts of herbs in this entire bed, along with some tomatillos that popped up. As you can see, my parsley has gone to seed and the bees are there pollinating them, so those seeds I'll harvest. But as far as the Egyptian onions are concerned, I am going to be harvesting these. These are to replant. Now, what I normally do is have these growing in different areas in my garden because they have different purposes. Some I use for the seed to replant, and some I use to harvest it while it's young and green. So I'm going to take you to the section where I have them in a bed. I harvest while they're young and tender and not as woody as these, to make my green seasoning every year. So let's take a walk. Alright, so now over here in this bed are some Egyptian walking onions, along with other volunteer plants like this tomatillo, this tomato. Everything just decided to grow in this bed. We have wood sorrel, we have dandelions, we also have plantain. But this is my bed where I keep my Egyptian walking onion. And if you notice here, these are the young and tender leaves that I harvest. I let them grow a little more, but definitely before they're too hard and woody. And as you can see here, these here are just the dead pieces from where I harvested this earlier this year. See that? This goes back to the soil. But once you cut this back, it's going to take time. You can get a couple really nice harvests if you're growing this with the intention of harvesting the young leaves here to do something like making green seasoning or just to dehydrate it or so. And this is what I do with this bed. Right? So this bed is actually not really going to get a chance to go to seed, and I'm not going to be able to harvest the little bulbs at the tip of the leaves, and that's because I keep harvesting it, I keep cutting it, so it's not getting that time to become mature so it can produce those bulbs at the top. But this would definitely come back. See all of these? All of these is just the dead part of what I cut off earlier this season. And look at that, the bulb that's under there, it's popping up again. Let me just dig it so you can see. because this bulb does not die. It wouldn't die. And that's the original bulb that I dropped here. It wouldn't die. It would just stay in there and keep sending out new growth once you keep it in there. So this is pretty much how I use my, ooh, that's some wood sorrel I was gonna grab, but for the chickens, but I saw some poison ivy right in there, so I gotta be careful with that. That's also poison ivy. But if you're growing Egyptian walking onions and you decide you want to harvest the young leaves, once you cut it back, it would definitely regrow and continue to bear as you would like it to. Maybe if you choose to, you can just harvest these, like if you have a bed like I do, harvest it once and then allow it to grow, come to maturity, and then it will produce bulbs at the tip of the leaves for you.